What is up, guys? It's your boy Fix It Daniel, and today we're going to be talking about the scooter. Just going to go over a little bit of what's been going on with it, and hopefully you guys will be interested in wanting to see it. But we're going to talk about it a little bit and talk about what we're going to be doing with it soon. So let's get into it. So guys, welcome to the channel and thank you so much for watching. If you guys have not seen some of my other videos, please go like and subscribe and share with your friends. I really do appreciate it. It helps the algorithm, help me grow and everything. But today, we're going to be talking about the scooter. So we're just going to talk about what we've done so far and gone over with and how's it riding, which is riding pretty good. So I know I did it in a short, I think I did it in a short about talking about it, but I got some goodies that I haven't gotten yet, but some stuff's coming that I think would work. I'm not going to spoil the last one because I really don't know yet. I have an idea in my head of what I want to do, and if it doesn't work out, then it's a flop. But if it does work out, it's going to be something pretty epic. Something that's probably never been done. That would make this bike maybe a 1-of-1. So we'll see how that goes. But let's get over to the bike and let's check it out and see what we got. Alright guys, so we're going to talk about the 250. So it has been running extremely well. I've actually been taking on a bunch of rides, and we also finally got it down to where we could fill it up with some fresh gas. I literally got the gas gauge all the way down to nothing, started flashing, the gas light came on, so we put just a little bit of gas in there, rode it to the gas station, filled up with some 93 octane. Now we got some good fresh gas in there. Should be no problem. We also have upgraded to a more clear and better fuel filter. So that's a good. And then we also changed these lines to a little bit more clear lines so we can kind of see, make sure the fluid's flowing right. Make sure if there's any debris in there, we'll see it. If it gets past the filter, which it never probably will. But yeah, it is running extremely well. So let's get it going on. As you see right there, just doing this little flickering thing. So it is running really, really good. Still needs a little bit of tuning. As you see, we filled the gas. Still needs a little bit more tweaking. But the only thing we can do right now is just ride it and enjoy it. I feel like that's the best way. So we've just been riding it and just taking it around as much as we possibly can, breaking it in, getting it running. It runs really good. I can get to up about close to 60. Basically we get about here between 55 and 60. That's about as much. I haven't got a chance to do a wide open throttle to kind of see where it tops out at, see if it actually can get over, because this bike is really highway rated. You actually can take it on the highway, but my size, it's definitely just a little bit harder to do because of that reason. So I think the bike with dry can carry someone that's like 240 some pounds. I'm like 280, so maybe another 40 to 50 pounds extra on top of this bike. Plus, you gotta scooch down and get yourself aerodynamic, and I'm 6'2". I can't scooch down like that. Not on this type of bike. I could do it on a sport bike, but I can't do it on this one because this bike is made for you to sit up. So that's one of the other things. But even with all of that, the speed's pretty good. It kind of ramps up a little bit. It takes a little bit to get the top speed, but then once you get there and you slowly hold the throttle in the nice, good sweet spot, it'll just keep on eating and going. And I can see the speedos picking up. So I can ride around with traffic very well. I have not taken it out on, well, I've taken it out on the main roads. It did pretty good. It just needs more oomph. So we are waiting for some new rollers. We get some new rollers. We get some new belts. That'll be coming soon. So once we get that going, once we get the rollers and everything in there, hopefully that'll make it an improvement, because these rollers are old. They're making a tinging noise, and actually the metal and the plastic's kind of separating in between. But they're not coming off, but they're just, they're old. So hopefully we get some newer roller weights in there. We're gonna get a whole new variator behind this fan. We'll get a whole new variator, a whole new roller weights, whole new clips. This variator, is nothing wrong with it at all, and we can keep it as a backup just in case. The belt's fine too, even though the belt has a little bit of cracks inside the little grooves. They're actually still holding quite well. This belt is actually thick. I mean, look how thick that is. That's a pretty thick belt. The chance of that breaking, and I've been so lucky because, knock on bike, I haven't had a belt break. And this is the original belt that was on the bike, and I haven't had any issues or any worry that this bike's not going to make it where I needed to. But I do have tools for it, so that way if we do have to pull over and undo something, we have tools for it. So I'm not going to just go without no tools. I may not have to go without a belt, but I will bring one just in case, and then the drill. Depends on how far we go. I'm still trying to hit my goal of getting, at least, we may not, I actually had to rechange my goal getting just a little bit. So we actually are trying to get this all set up, and then I'll explain to you what we are planning on doing with this. Alright guys, so we basically had to change the distance that we were planning on, that I was planning on going. So basically, with this bike, I can do 60 maybe wide open without anybody behind, without anybody in my way, and with the wind behind me, I can do 60 plus. So this bike is rated to do like 80. You can do 80, 90. I've heard some people doing 90, but I think it's just the weight of the person. Like I said, this bike dry weight without anybody on it, and the carrying load is 240 pounds. So I weigh 280. So let's just round it and say an extra 50 pounds. So an extra 50 pounds more on top of it, plus the aerodynamics. This bike has, aerodynamics with the shield, of course, but sometimes people say you have to scooch down, and then you can't scooch down in it because the seat. There's an actual seat about right here on my back that'll keep you from scooching down. It wants you to sit up. So we basically can't do that right now. So my goal to basically shorten the distance is Williamsburg. Williamsburg is not that far, and I believe I can ride it there by taking some of the back roads. I could try the highway, but as of right now, the best course would be to take the back roads. It can still do 60 miles an hour, no problem, but on the highway around this area, a lot of people go a lot faster than 60. So I would be more of holding people back than I am really keeping up with traffic. Now, once the bike can get up to, like, say if we could get the bike to go to about 75, 80, then we're kind of in the good rim of, we can take a thing on the highway anywhere and we'll be perfectly fine, because there's no place around here that's 80. Most people are just speeding when they do that. So 70 is about the max once you get, like, if you were on the highway going towards Richmond, right between Williams, right before you get to, like, the outer area of Williamsburg, it starts picking up to 70. But we would never really take the highway. I would only take the highway back if I had an emergency and I had to get home quick. I would take the highway. But normally, I would take the back roads to Richmond. So there's a road that's parallel with the highway that kind of does twists and turns all the way to Richmond, and it comes on the back side of Richmond. So, of that road. So it's still parallel, but it's off in the country, and you're kind of doing weaves and turns. It's actually a really nice ride. I've ridden when I had a 600, I've ridden that trail, that road, and a lot of bikers ride that road because it's just, you're going through the countryside, you're going through the woods, You get some shade, and then you get out in the open. There's nice big country fields for miles. You know, it's just a nice, really good scenic ride. Where the highway is no scenic. The highway is just highway. You're speeding up. You're trying to get to where you need to get to at a high rate of speed. Where that road is nothing but more of a cruising road. And I feel like with this bike would be perfect. And that was what my goal was, to go to Richmond, get it there, because this bike is highway rated. It could make it and back without any issues because it's liquid cooled, bigger displacements. So right now, as it sits, with with the stuff that we're getting for it, Williamsburg would be probably the nice comfort of getting there and back. We still have to maybe have to take the back roads, but it's not that bad of a back roads. It's just another way of getting there, especially with the summertime. Everybody's gonna be going to the amusement park, Busch Gardens, Water Country. That traffic and highways gonna be crazy busy. So taking the back roads would be more scenic. There is a beautiful scenic road called Colonial Parkway that I could take in Yorktown, and I could take that all the way to Williamsburg on the back side. So, you know, you can nice leisure ride. That's where all the bikers go to enjoy the nice ride. That would be a good place to go. You can go keep going. You go to Jamestown, and, you know, take the ferry, you know, over to Jamestown. There's plenty of ways to go. So it'd be really cool to do it that way until we can get it to the speed where taking it to Richmond would be great in case if there's an emergency I have to go back. Because if there was an emergency I had to get back, I would have to come back the way I came on Route 5, and it's longer of a ride because of all the twists and turns, and you're off the highway, so it's a little bit of a longer ride. There's no street lights, so if you get back dark, guess what? You're riding in pitch black darkness. So that's why it's so crucial to ride that trail during the day. And if you get stuck at nighttime coming back, you're in trouble because it's a lot of wooded areas, there's a lot of deers and everything, and you come around and there's a lot of twists and turns. You come around a bend and there's a deer, guess what? That's it. So I don't want to be in that predicament when it happens. So right now, as of what we are trying to do and get it, Williamsburg would be a nice, good area. And if we can go a little further, then we'll go a little further. But right now, the way it sits, Williamsburg is a nice, good distance. And hopefully before the end of the riding season, we can get to Richmond, and that would be really cool. That would be a nice, you know, check mark saying that this bike is a-okay, good to go, and we can ride it to wherever, which I think we possibly can. But let us talk more about what we're going to do with this bike. So, with this bike, the way it's sitting, it needs some power. It has power once it starts getting up there, but I'm thinking of I'm researching right now trying to do a gear up, just like I did on the 90cc. We're going to try and do maybe a gear up to kind of help with that pickup speed. It's okay if it takes off kind of low. I want that top end speed where we're going faster at top end. I don't mind the slow takeoff because most of the time they rate it to where you have the fast takeoff, but then no top end speed. I want it the other way. I want it to be a slow takeoff, but I want some top end speed because that's where you're mostly going to be, you know, moving, going on the highway or open country. You know, you want that top end speed. So that's what we plan on doing, and that could be helped by roller weights. So the ones that we're getting now are the original 18-gram roller weights. So that's okay. That's fine. We'll see how those work. We'll see how the new belt works. Maybe it's just stretched, but it seems to be working fine. Some sources, which I've done on the 90, we go down. We go for some lighter weights, maybe like 14. They do have it, but the problem is that you have to get it in a kit. They have the kit where the variator, the belt, and all that stuff like that, and we just got one. So if I could try and find some 14-gram roller weights for this bike, that would make it go, the top end would be a lot more better. It would actually give us more acceleration and hopefully some top end. But I think I keep forgetting how it goes. I think it's the lighter the weights. If it's the lighter the weight, I think it's the slower the takeoff, the higher top end speed. Or I think it's the heavier the weights, the slower the takeoff, the higher the top end. But I think I have it right. I think it's the lower the weights, the higher the top end, because that's how it worked with the 90cc. I went to, actually we went up. So we went to 7. So I guess it's the other way around. We'll work with it, basically. We'll figure that part out. So right now we got some roller weights coming, the 18 grams. We'll start with that. We'll try to go some 14, see if that makes it better, or do we need to go bigger? Which I don't think we need to go 18. 18 is pretty heavy gram weights. So I would think we need to go lower. But I think that's only going to either make our takeoff fast and our top end small, or vice versa. So we'll figure that part out as we come. But one of the things that is coming is there is an actual performance kit with some jets, maybe some drilling into something. I have to figure it out when it comes. It's on its way now. So it's supposedly supposed to give us more power, more torque, more throttle acceleration. We'll figure the whole thing out. Supposedly it's supposed to you're supposed to tell them what you're getting, what you're planning on doing to the bike. So it's kind of like you adding a performance chip or tuner, where you would tell the tuner exactly what you're doing to the bike. I got a cam, or I got cold air intake, I got a lighter exhaust, which is all great for these bikes. Lighter exhaust, cold air intake, getting that more air and fuel in to get more power. You would let them know, and then they would adjust the jets the proper way, so that way you can get the performance that you want out of it and all the use out of the bike. So I ordered it, but there was no other way to tell the guy what I'm going to do with it. So right now I just bone stock, which is pretty much what it is right now. I do have a cold air intake that does fit, which is actually surprisingly it does fit. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. So we have a cold air intake for it. It actually fits perfectly over it, but the problem is that this gives more air to the air box, so it changes the whole entire demeanor of the bike. You can even hear it sucking in more air. I tried it, and man, the whole entire bike changed its tune, like just by changing this out. So we would have to get some more jet kits, and that's the problem that I'm running into right now. Is this bike has a weird type of jet that goes in it. It's not like my original GY6 kind of jets. It's a smaller itsy bitsy jet. So the problem that I'm having is I can't up the main. I can up the pilot, which I've already have to 45, which I may go to a 48 just to kind of give it a little more zest. But we'll see what that happens with that performance kit. But the main cannot go up anymore. It's at a 112, and it's a itty bitty little jet, and I can't interchange the parts inside of the carburetor. It's set to a certain thing, and I can't change the main jet holder, which is that little copper piece that goes in it, and then you put the jet on top to tighten it. It doesn't work, and I've taken off the nib one and stuck it in there, and the nib is too long. It would actually work if I could shave it down a little bit, but or if I had a bigger bowl cap, I could stick it in there. But and then I could use whatever jet I want, and we'd be good. But the problem is that's the problem. So right now I'm researching and trying to find some different kind of main jet holders, the little copper things. Trying to find some shorter ones. Now I did find a kit that's on order and it's on its way that has different holes inside of the jet holder. So I think it's like an 8, a 16, a 13, a 19, 18. This is just how many holes is in that. So I guess the more holes, the more fuel gets thrown in. So I think right now this one is at I want to say a 14 or a 16. I can't remember. Say probably more 16 and 14. So there's one more of those in the kit that's a little bigger than a 16. I think it's a 19 or 20. And then we could use that to give us some more fuel inside, and we have to do adjustments. So every time you change something, you have to adjust all of that stuff. Tune it, we have to retune it. If you put more jets in there, you got to retune it down so that way it doesn't give too much fuel or be too lean. So, and that still is still, even to this day, after the 90cc, it's still a challenge, but it's not too hard because this one already has an RPM gauge, and then you can kind of hear it when you make your tune. You can hear where it gets a little too high, too low, or you can hear that sweet spot when you actually change it. You can actually hear the motor kind of speed up a little bit, and now you know you're kind of hitting your sweet spot. So, and then when you give it throttle, you don't feel no more bog or anything anymore. So this is on hold until we get that kit. If that kit will allow us to put this on to get more air and fuel in there and make it more power, then that would actually be great. Plus, it actually sounds really cooler too when you hear it sucking in the air. It makes it sound like you got like a little mini turbo or supercharger. It really sounds really cool when you put it on. But if we can get it tuned right, it would actually be even more cooler. There is, now after all that's said and done, there is one more thing that I am really researching right now, and I'm not going to reveal it because I don't know how it's going to work. All I can say is that if it does work, it'll give us more power, way more power than what this bike is gonna do. Nothing like not a supercharger, not a turbo. They don't make it for this, even though there's probably some kind of way you could probably do it with a turbo, but not a supercharger because there's no pulleys. So no turbo. There's no turbo going in this thing. That would be cool, but there's just no concept of trying to do a turbo for this. I mean, it could be a turbo manifold you could build or something off of it, but it's no turbo. But just be patient when I tell you, because the problem is that if it doesn't work, I'm not going to reveal it. So if it does not work, if my theory and my research and my numbers and something does not work, I'm not revealing it. But if it does work, oh, you bet your butt I'm going to reveal it. When we'll reveal it, we'll put it in, we'll test it, we'll try it out. But until it comes and I can do some research on it and measurements and everything like that, we'll reveal it then. But like I said, if I don't, then we won't. So all in all, this bike is really, really cool. I'm really happy for it. I'm really happy with the way it's come out. I've even reached out to the owner and sent him something. He liked it, and then that was it. I think he just wanted to know that I got the bike running and it was something pretty cool. So I haven't heard from him after that, but I just sent him a video of it starting up and then telling him that I got it running. I got it all topped up and back on the road, and he was super ecstatic, and then that was pretty much it. So yeah, this bike's got some potential. It still has a lot of way to go. We're not gonna put any of the fairings and covers back on until we get this thing dialed. So we'll keep riding it as it is, and it seems to be perfectly fine. But yeah, we will definitely, and will probably more really anything. If everything starts going pretty well, I'll just put these covers right here back on either side. But these bottom ones won't go on because on this side, the variator cover's got to go on first or it'll hit. And I think on this side, if I need to change the fluid and change the fluid in the oil not so much, but the radiator fluid, I have to take that cover off because it hides it. So we're actually just gonna wait until those are the last few pieces that we got to put on. We got to put on these little foot pegs, the cover on both sides, foot pegs on both sides, and then the bottom part, and then we got to put on the bottom pan, which is this right here, this bottom skid plate. That's got to go back up under there, and then putting back on the variator cover, putting the seat back on, and actually bolting it down for good. Which I probably won't bolt it down for good because once it gets locked in here, you can't pull it up. It's locked in there and it's locked right here. So once that thing sits in there, you can't pull the seat up until you get it unlocked, no matter what you do. So, you have the two bolts, you have 2 bolts and then 2 bolts, and then you're done. But I feel like if I really need to get into it, I want to be able to get to it without taking the seat off and doing what I need to do, make my adjustments. Because I'm not going to be able to make my adjustments through here. I have to take the seat cover off. So I want to be able to get quick access to it. So we probably won't bolt the seat down. It does come with a light. I'm kind of determined. I don't know if I'm going to hook that back up right now. And then it has a seat indicator, let you know that the seat's locked in place, but it's not causing any issues. So for right now, I'm just going to just put the seat down in, sit on it, and then do it like that. And if I need to take it off, I can pull it right off, do what I need to do, make my adjustments, whatever, and then close it right back up. So that's our plan. That's what we got going on with the bike. That's the future plans for the bike and everything. And it has just been really, truly awesome. I can't thank you guys enough for watching the videos. And I really hope you guys enjoy the videos and everything like that. So yeah, guys, I am super, super happy with this bike. I really like it. I know it's not anything crazy. It's not a 500 and a 600, which I did see some online. I kind of got my mind thinking like 500 and 600 cc's. Those are motorcycle scooters, like 100%. The displacement's a little different. Some of them got 2 pistons, 2 carburetors. So they got the power. And I think I talked to one guy that had one, and he said that his can do 100 easy, which not trying to do no hundreds. I just want to know that the bike can get up to highway speed and be comfortable on the highway. I'm not caring that it does 100. It's just that when he says it does 100, that lets me know that the bike is capable and can get those highway speeds comfortably. I don't want to deal with another itsy bitsy little one. I want to be able to take the thing on the road, on the highway, on trips if I ever wanted to. Something like this would be cool if you take it to like Tail of the Dragon in Tennessee. That would be kind of cool, enjoy it, and stuff like that. So yeah, it is a really cool bike. It's really unique. I have not seen anybody else on the road have it. I did see one guy that had a Silver Wing, which is like a Honda Gullwing kind of a mini version, which is really cool. But this is kind of cool. This is kind of unique, and no one really knows what it is and has it or whichever. So I really do like it. So yep. So guys, we are moving right along. Just been driving it, riding it as much as I possibly can. The more I can take it out, the better. Eventually, if everything goes good, we can change the fluids. I want to put some miles under it, get everything kind of working, broken in, and then we'll change some fluids. We'll change the oil fluid again. We'll change the radiator fluid again, top it off with some clean fluid, get everything moving and breaking up, and then flush it all out, replace it, put it back together, then we should be good to go. And then my only other thing I need to do is I need to find a phone holder. So here, let me show you. So before we start getting on any road trips, totally forgot to mention this part. Before we start getting on any road trips, I need to find some place to put my phone. Now they sell a bar, some kind of bar that either goes like over the handlebars or over here, like under here, and then it goes like up and over this, and then you can mount to it. I've been trying to find something a little more simpler, easy to remove, a little more functional than looks. So I'm trying to figure something I can mount here or up here or on top of here or on somewhere on here where I can just take the whole thing off. I do kind of like this area here, and then the phone can just kind of sit here, but I want it to be able to turn sideways. So I want the phone to either go sideways or up and down with no problem. So that's one of the things. And then one of the guys that had one of these online, he had his phone mounted here, but I don't know where he got the mount from. So I think he took this cover off, and then he had something sitting here in place as a phone holder, which looked like it worked. So I want to be able to find a phone holder because I want to be able to have communication. I want to be able to listen to music, but I also want to be able to talk to loved ones. If anyone's calling me, I can answer them while I'm on the road, because on a motorcycle it's really difficult to talk on the phone because you don't have any, you can't pick up the phone like in a car. So I want to be able to have set up some kind of Bluetooth navigation, maybe just use the phone as navigation, or sometimes they sell these little screens that does the music, phone, and everything, and then you just have to find a Bluetooth headphone and put it in place. That's a good idea, but the phone seems to work pretty good, so I'm just going to keep using the phone for right now, because there's not a whole lot of space once you're sitting on it. So you don't want to keep looking. You don't want to be looking down every time. You want to be able to look up. So wherever the phone's got to go, it's got to go in this area. You got to go in this area right here, whether it be here, or up top or something, but somewhere in your view, so that way you don't have to keep looking down, because you don't want to look down on this bike. You look down, look up, and someone stops. That's it. You're done. So So yeah, so we just got to figure out something that we can do to get this more set up for comfortability, communication stuff. And just like that, guys, that's it. This bike is running really well. I'm super happy with it, and I hope that you guys like it too. I hope you guys enjoyed this build series. We still have a lot to go on this bike. We're not done. We just got past the threshold of it. Now it's running and riding. Now we just need to start fixing stuff on it to make it more of a running and riding bike, which it is doing that flawlessly. But guys, I thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys like this. Please go down in the comments. Let me know if you like this type of stuff, these type of builds. I know it's not the cars and trucks, but don't worry. We're coming soon. We're going to be getting back on the cars. My wife's got her Vibe, her Pontiac Vibe, which I have not shown you guys on the channel, but that is coming to the channel because we got some motor mounts we got to do on that soon. So stay tuned for that. You guys have already seen the truck with the oil pan. I hope you guys can get some information off of that for the two-wheel truck drive guys who have it. Hopefully that'll help you guys out so much. But guys, thank you so much for watching. With all being said, you guys have a good and blessed day, and I'm gonna see you in the next fix. Until then, peace.